might shatter the silence of a pitch-black forest. I'm lying face down in a ditch, my cheekbone dragging against the damp earth. The air smells of decay and old leaves, and when I try to open my eyes, it feels like my lashes are made of glass and nails. I have no bearings, I have no memory, just the unnerving weight of a silence that squeezes me like a hug.
An engine roars through the dark, a vehicle whips past, its wind blowing my hair across my face, and then it's quiet again. Did the driver see me? Why didn't they stop? My eyes adjust to the void. No streetlights, no houses, not even a single star in the sky. I'm alone on a narrow dirt road that disappears into a wobbly blur of trees. Every question I ask has no answer. Where am I? How did I get here? I force myself to my feet, and a wail escapes me as pain punches through my body. My fingers come away from my nose, dark and wet with blood. As I stumble out of the ditch, briars scrape my bare arms. I duck under a limb, and the branches reach for me like skeletal hands. Suddenly, a flash, a memory, a cluster mailbox, a burned-out streetlight, and big hands reaching for me. I recoil, my heart rattling against my ribs. Is this hell? Or worse, is it all in my head?
Red and blue lights flicker behind me, cutting through the shadows. A police car. Help! Do not move. Hands where I can see them. I turn, squinting into the blinding white headlights. The officer creeps forward, his hand on his gun. I look down at myself, and the blood drains from my face. My light gray t-shirt is covered in blotches of dried mud and dark, winding rivers of blood. Jesus, he whispers, you're just a kid.
My knees give out. The cop tries to catch me, and we both hit the dirt hard. His voice defogs in my mind, pleading for a name, anything to tell him who I am. What's your name? I reach for the answer, but I hit a wall every time. How can such a simple question be so hard? Fresh tears pool in my eyes as I grab my throbbing head and scream the only truth I have left. I don't know! The lights in here are too bright. They hum, a low, constant buzz that vibrates in the back of my skull. Officer Bowman keeps pushing a cup of cocoa toward me like it's a peace offering. I don't want it. I don't want the warmth. I want to know why my skin feels like it belongs to a stranger. I told them I didn't need a doctor, but the lump on my head pulses with every beat of my heart, reminding me that I'm broken, even if I can't remember the moment I snapped. Closing my eyes is worse. I'm back on that stretcher. The smell of bleach and old rain. The paramedics talked about me like I was a puzzle they couldn't solve. Impact, they said. Car versus human. They wanted to touch me, to test me, to look for secrets hidden in my DNA. I said no. If they looked too close, they might find out there's nothing inside me at all. Just a hollow space where a name should be. Bowman handed me a sweatshirt. It's soft, clean, and smells like industrial laundry soap. I pulled it on, trying to hide. We sat there for an hour, maybe a lifetime, staring at a glowing screen. Face after face, missing girls, lost daughters. None of them looked back at me with my eyes. Oregon? Am I even from Oregon? The map of the world is clear in my head, but the map of my own life is just a smear of gray fog. The door opened, and the air left the room. A man. He looked tired, desperate, like he'd been running for days. He didn't look at the officer. He looked at me. And then the word fell out of his mouth,
heavy as a stone. Mary, he said it, with so much love it made my stomach turn. He thinks he knows me. He thinks I'm his. I want to believe him so badly it hurts. He showed me his phone, a digital scrapbook of a life I don't remember living. There I am at 15, blowing out candles. There I am leaning against him, smiling. And then the plastic card. A school ID. Mary Boone. The girl in the photo has my nose, my hair, my chin. If the plastic says it's me, it must be true, right? Why does it feel like I'm looking at a ghost? He talked about a cabin, Ridge Road, a fresh start while the old house was being torn apart. He spun a story of a winding road and a station wagon that lost its way in the dark. It sounds so logical. A car accident, a daughter lost in the woods. He's filling in the blanks of my memory with his words, painting a picture over the emptiness. I'm leaning into the sound of his voice, letting it anchor me to the ground. Officer Bowman is satisfied. Paperwork, birth certificates, social security numbers, the things that prove a person exists. I looked at the photos one last time. I don't feel a spark, no rush of warmth, but I have nowhere else to go. I took a breath and let the lie, or the truth, settle into my bones. My name is Mary Boone. I have to say it until I believe it. I am Mary Boone.
The narrative shifts to Drew, whose girlfriend's been missing.
The copier screaming at me again. Jam. Error. Out of ink. It's like the universe is trying to help the town forget her. I'm just trying to make 50 more flyers. Lola's face, black and white, slightly blurred. The police stopped handing them out weeks ago. They look at me like I'm the reason she's gone. Every time the machine hitches, it feels like another door closing on her. I'm the only one left holding the handle. I heard Max before I saw him. He's my cousin, my blood, but right now he just feels like another person pitying me. He's talking about family dinner, pot roast, and normal life. Doesn't he get it? There is no normal without Lola. I can't sit at a table and pretend I'm not a walking crime scene. I told him to leave it alone. I don't need a meal. I need a miracle. Max has a tell. He won't look me in the eye when he's holding back. I pushed him until the truth spilled out. The boat launch. A new search party. But they aren't looking for a girl anymore. They're looking for parts, for proof of an end. The air in the library turned to lead. They've given up on her. They're just waiting for the river to give up her ghost. Max tried to stop me. He said it's a bad idea, that I'm the prime suspect, and showing up is social suicide. I didn't care. I threw the trooper into gear and drove. The engine rattled like my nerves. If the whole town is out there looking for her, then I'm going to be there to see it. I'm not staying in the dark while they decide her fate. I parked on the edge of the lot, hidden by the pines. It's a circus. Uniforms, volunteers, people who didn't even know her name until it was on the news. I saw her shrine near the water. The flowers are brown mush now. The candles are drowned. It looks like a graveyard for a girl who hasn't been buried yet. It's a mockery. And then I saw them. Lola's parents. Mr. Scott. He used to be a big man, but now he looks like he's made of glass and bitterness. He caught my eye through the windshield. That look, it wasn't just grief. It was an accusation. He thinks I killed his daughter. The bile rose in my throat, hot and sharp. I couldn't breathe. I slammed the car into reverse and tore out of there, the gravel screaming under my tires. I'm running, but no matter how fast I go, I can't outrun the ghost of the girl they think I broke. The interior of the trooper smells like wet dog and old fast food. Max is vibrating in the passenger seat, not from fear, but from that exhausting brand of cousin pity. He's calling me Guilty Drew. He thinks my grief looks like a confession to the rest of the town. I want to tell him that if I stop moving, if I stop being guilty, then Lola stays lost. But I just grip the wheel until my knuckles turn the color of bone and drop him off. I'm not going to his normal dinner. I'm going back to her. The staple gun is the only thing making sense right now. Thwack, another flyer. Thwack, another blurred face staring back at me from a telephone pole. My legs moved on autopilot until the pavement felt too familiar. I'm standing in her cul-de-sac. Her bedroom light is on, a yellow square in the dark that hasn't flickered out since she went missing. It's a beacon for a girl who isn't coming home, and I'm the ghost haunting the sidewalk underneath it. Then the headlights cut through me. Mr. Scott's Jeep. When he stepped out, he didn't look like the man who used to flip burgers at our swim team parties. He looked like he wanted to erase me from the earth. And then her mom, Mrs. Scott. She didn't scream. She just pleaded. Just tell us where she is, Drew. The words felt like physical blows. They don't want the truth. They want a body. And they think I'm the only one who knows where it's buried. I couldn't even make it 3 blocks before Autumn appeared like a vulture under a streetlight. She's the sheriff's daughter, so she thinks she's the law. She's been tailing me for weeks, waiting for me to trip. We stood there in the rain, screaming about history and who I used to be. She told me she knows I did it. The scary part? For a second, looking at her certain, hateful face, I almost believed her. I retreated to my room, shivering and soaked. I pulled back the whiteboard, my pathetic map, my string of what-ifs and timelines. It's all I have left of her. Then my dad's walked in. I saw it in Papa's eyes before he even opened his mouth. The lawyer called. They found a body. The air left the room. My stomach turned to lead and I was sick right there on the floor. The world didn't just end, it shattered. They found someone, and in this town, someone is always Lola.
The narration shifts to Mary. She's in the man's house who picked her from the police station.
Waking up is always the same. It starts as an ache in the base of my skull, then the static. It tries to erase me. I lie perfectly still on the wool blanket, counting the scratches on the ceiling. 1, 2, 3. The air is cold, but the cabin feels smaller today. I can hear him in the other room, the creak. I don't know why, but I know that sound. It means he's checking on me. He always checks on me before he makes the fire. The door swings open and the orange light spills in. He stands there, silhouetted, the heat rolling in first. It smells like wood smoke, pine needles, and something sharp, like vinegar. He brings me bread and lukewarm water in a dented tin. My stomach wants it, but the rest of me wants to hide. He calls me Mary. He says he's my father. He says it's my name. If it's my name, why does saying it feel like breaking a bone? Today is different. He says he has proof, a photograph, a girl with dark hair and a wide, open-mouthed smile, Lola Scott. I have never seen her. I don't know her. But when he slides the glossy picture toward me, my chest screams. My skin remembers that smile. He says she is the girl who lied. He says she's the girl who made him hide me away. He tells me I must hate her, but all I feel is the ache getting louder, screaming that he is the liar. His voice gets hard, a growl I know I have to obey. He demands that I say it. I am Mary. I hate the liar. The words turn to ash in my mouth. I keep my head down, staring at the bread. My silence makes him furious. He grabs the photo back, the gloss squeaking under his thumb. He tells me if I won't say it, he will. He storms out and the bolt slides thwack into place. I am locked in, alone with the echo of his truth and the horrifying secret that I don't believe him. I can hear him outside, splitting wood. Thwack. It's a clean sound. It makes sense. My thoughts are messy static. I can't stop looking at where the photo was. The ache is a monster now, tearing me apart. I press my hands against the floorboards, trying to anchor myself in the wood. He said that photo was proof, but it didn't look like proof. It looked like a warning. The only continuous thing is the roar of the river. It's the same river they found the body in. The river is singing to me. It knows my real name.
Day 2.
I wake up with a jolt, the memory of that dark ditch flashing behind my eyes like a bad TV recap I never asked for. But the room isn't dark. Sunlight is hitting a poster on the wall. Don't worry, be happy. It feels like a joke. My joints move like rusty hinges, but I force myself up. I have to stop crying. I have to find the pieces of whoever Mary Boone is supposed to be. The kitchen smells like everything I've ever wanted. Maple sausage, eggs, and toast. Wayne is there, smiling, slicing strawberries like we're just a normal family in a normal house. He says breakfast is our thing. I want to believe him. I want to sink into the warmth of the wood stove and pretend the ditch never happened. I scarf down the food like I've forgotten what eating feels like. It starts as a crawl in my throat. Then the itch spreads, raking down my neck and arms. I look down and my skin is erupting in hives. Wayne goes white as a sheet. He's running for a first aid bag, dumping pills and bandages across the floor until he finds the Benadryl. He says he forgot. He says I'm allergic to eggs. How am I supposed to survive if I can't even remember what's trying to kill me? Wayne left to run errands, locking the door for my safety. I couldn't stay inside. I wrapped myself in an old Afghan and stepped onto the porch. That's when I saw it. A river glistening right behind the house. It's breathtaking and slate-colored. I found an old bench swing by the water and just existed. For a moment, the static in my head quieted down to the sound of the current. Wayne found me by the water. We sat on the swing and he tried to jog my memory with the basics. I'm a senior. I'm a homebody who likes clean books, and my mom, she died in a car crash when I was 9. I'm compiling a list in my head. Mary Ellen Boone, 17, egg allergy, dead mom. It's a depressing collection of facts for a stranger's life. He says my memory will come back eventually. I just wonder if I'll like the person I find when it does. Back inside, he hands me a brown paper bag. He went to town and bought me new clothes, leggings and t-shirts that are actually mine. It's such a simple, kind thing that it almost breaks me. Anything for you, my merry girl, he says. Then he reaches behind me and locks the door. The sound of the deadbolt is the last thing I hear before the world feels small again.
The narration shifts to Drew. He is at college with Mr. Moore, teaching the class.
I'm staring at her desk. It's a shrine of empty space right in the middle of the room. Then the whispers start. The news alert hit everyone's phone at the same time. The body isn't her. For a second, I can breathe. But then I feel it, the shift in the air. Mr. Moore looks at me, not with sympathy, but with a challenge. He wants me to cooperate. He wants a confession to fill the silence Lola left behind. I don't give him the satisfaction. I just walk out. The hallway is a gauntlet. I reach my locker and the breath dies in my throat. My own flyers, the ones I stayed up all night stapling to poles, are taped to the metal. But someone used a thick black marker to rewrite the headline. Murderer. The ink is still fresh, weeping down the paper. I can practically smell Autumn's smug certainty on the tape. They aren't looking for Lola anymore. They're just looking for a place to put the blame. I get to the lot and my heart stops. The space is empty. No white trooper. No escape. My phone buzzes. A text from Papa. The sheriff took it. A warrant. They're stripping my car for parts of her, looking for a hair, a drop of blood, anything to prove their theory. They took my wheels, so I'll use my feet. If the law won't look for her, I'll have to do it myself. I start walking toward the water. I pull out my phone just to see her name again. I scroll back to the end. Are you here yet? Drew, please. I was playing video games. I made her wait 35 minutes because I was annoyed. 35 minutes that changed everything. We fought right there by the boat launch, words sharp enough to draw blood. She stormed into the trees, and I let her go. Every step I take toward that river feels like I'm walking back into my own failure. The river is a mile away when the shadow falls over me, a white cruiser, crawling along the shoulder like a predator. The window rolls down, and Sheriff Roan is staring at me with those "I caught you" eyes. He doesn't ask, he orders. Get in the car, Drew. The social guillotine finally dropped. I'm not a grieving boyfriend anymore. I'm a passenger in a cage. I don't even have to look up to know it's him. The cruiser crawls beside me, a white shark in a suit, keeping pace with my boots on the gravel. Sheriff Roan rolls down the window, his voice gravelly and full of fake concern. He tells me to get in. I try to play it off, joke about exercise and my Adidas, but my shoulders are up to my ears. I weigh the odds, call my dads and look like I'm hiding, or get in and try to see what he's holding. I choose the cage. The inside of a cop car is the loudest place on earth. It's silent, but I can hear the air whistling through Roan's nostrils. He doesn't say a word as he barrels toward the river. To him, it's just a road. To me, it's the place where the world ended. He parks right in our spot, the second to last space under the tree with the orange leaves. For a second, I see her. Green eyes, freckles, smiling in the passenger seat. Then the image fades, and I'm just sitting next to a man who wants to ruin me. He starts digging. Why'd I crash the search? Why'd I leave school? Then he drops the hammer. He says he's looking for blood in my trooper. The air vanishes. I'm shouting before I can stop myself, picturing Lola lying in a ravine and slowly rotting. He watches my panic like it's evidence. Then he admits it. There was no blood. The report was clean. He didn't have proof. He was just trying to shock me into a confession. He asks the same questions for the 100th time. The fight, the Dairy Queen, the front porch. Then he says the one thing I can't answer. Why would she walk 3 miles home in the middle of the night alone? My mouth goes dry, the kind of dry that seizes your heart. He's smiling now because he thinks he's won. He says he finally has the evidence he needs to prove I'm involved. He doesn't say what it is, just that he knows. I'm done cooperating. I unbuckle the seatbelt. The click sounds like a gunshot in the cabin. I tell him Lola didn't just vanish, and she didn't run away. Something happened when she got out of my car, and if he stops looking here, he's failing her. I tell him not to talk to me again without my dad's or my lawyer. I slam the door on his mocking laugh. He says I'll see a jail cell soon. I just hope I find her before he finds the handcuffs.
The perspective shifts to Mary. It's her 3rd day in Wayne's house.
I wake up feeling lighter and more alert than I have since waking up in that ditch. Wayne and I share an egg-free breakfast of cinnamon toast and bananas. Watching him read the newspaper and hearing him chuckle at a bizarre headline about a man eating his socks makes everything feel deceptively normal and familiar. I am desperate to wear the new clothes Wayne bought me, something that is truly mine in this memoryless life. However, when I try them on after my shower, I find they are comically small, looking like they would fit a middle schooler. The loss of these items hits me surprisingly hard, and I have to resort to wearing Wayne's oversized sweatpants and a Homer Simpson t-shirt again. I practically beg Wayne to take me into town to exchange the clothes. He is hesitant, citing his concern for my concussion and potential histamine flare-ups, and suggests ordering online instead. Eventually, I wear him down, and he agrees to drive me to a thrift store an hour and a half away that we supposedly visit often. As we head out, I notice how clinical the interior of the van is, while the back is littered with mud, pine needles, and tools like a shovel and buckets. Wayne explains his shifting career path, currently taking time off from house painting while our real house in McVanville undergoes floor and cabinet renovations. As we reach the town of Waybrook, Wayne keeps glancing at my bruised face. He insists we stop for makeup first, saying we don't need anyone seeing that face of mine. Though he smiles, his words leave me with a sharp, unexplainable stab of unease as we enter the town. We finally reach Waybrook, a wood-shingled coastal town. Wayne is clearly uneasy about my appearance and makes me stay in the van while he runs into a pharmacy. After 3 trips, he finally gets the right concealer to cover my raccoon hybrid look my bruised eyes have given me. We visit Nana's Favorites, a thrift store Wayne claims we always stop at. While leafing through the racks, I find a sweater with a plastic decal of a tabby cat. Suddenly, I'm hit with what feels like a real memory. A cat walking along the arm of a long red sofa before purling up to sleep. When I ask Wayne if we have pets, he scoffs and says he's crazy allergic to cats and dogs, instantly killing my flicker of hope that the memory was mine. I pick out dark clothes that I actually like, but Wayne plucks a peach tank top with lace off the rack and insists I try it on, telling me I'm a colorful person. Later, at a diner, he stares at my new V-neck shirt with an almost angry expression, calling it inappropriate. He tells me I just don't know the rules yet because of my memory loss, an unsettling hint that my life with him is governed by strict, unspoken boundaries. Over a vegan cinnamon roll, Wayne tells me more Mary facts. He explains that I'm homeschooled because I fell in with the wrong people who led me down a path of partying and disrespecting rules. He claims homeschooling saved us and brought us closer, but his white-knuckled grip on his coffee cup as he talks makes me too anxious to ask for more details. As I finish a strawberry smoothie, that terrifying, familiar itch returns, crawling down my throat as hives bloom across my arms. Wayne panics, rushes me to the pharmacy for Benadryl, and then realizes his mistake. I'm not allergic to eggs like he thought at breakfast. I'm allergic to strawberries. He claims my mother was the one allergic to eggs, but the fact that my own father can't keep my life-threatening allergies straight leaves me with a deep, curling sense of dread. As we pull away from the pharmacy, I see a blonde woman on the sidewalk gaping at me with wide, dark eyes. She waves, and when I wave back, she frantically pulls out her phone and holds it to her ear. Wayne ignores it and promises that once we get home, we won't have to leave for a long time.
The perspective shifts back to Drew. He's going back home.
The rain feels like punishment by the time I make it home. My clothes are soaked through, my shoes heavy, my thoughts worse than the storm. Everything in me is tangled up with Lola, with what I said, with what I didn't do, with the unbearable idea that the last 5 weeks have been building towards something that could crush me completely. I can feel the town turning on me, and after what happened with Sheriff Roan, it's impossible to shake the fear that they're not just failing to find Lola, they're getting ready to pin her disappearance on me. When I open the door, my dad is already there, springing up from the stairs like he's been holding his breath the whole time. He wraps me up in panic before he even starts asking questions. Where was I? Why am I soaked? What happened? And standing there dripping on the floor, I realize just how thin the line is between being comforted and breaking apart. I tell him about Roan, about the confrontation, about losing the trooper. My dad listens the way only a parent can. Scared, angry, trying to stay steady for me even while everything around us feels like it's caving in. Then he shows me something small that somehow hurts more than all the shouting and suspicion. New ink cartridges. He heard I'd been making flyers for Lola and quietly bought what I needed so I could keep going. That simple act nearly undoes me. In a world where everyone seems ready to suspect me, my dad is still trying to help me search, still believing action matters, still believing Lola matters. I tell him I'm okay, even though that's a lie so thin it barely holds together, because if I say anything more, I might completely fall apart. Upstairs, my room should feel private. Instead, the second the light comes on, I know something is wrong. Someone is there. Autumn is sitting on the edge of my bed like she owns the place, like the storm outside simply opened a path for her anger to walk straight into my life. My room has been tossed, searched, disturbed. She hasn't come for comfort or answers delivered gently. She's come hunting. She believes I know more than I'm saying, and she's done waiting for me to volunteer it. Lola's voice fills the room, raw with emotion, and every word hits like it was designed to split me open. She's furious, hurt, shaken to her core. Hearing her like that, hearing what I made her feel that night is almost worse than not knowing where she is. Autumn doesn't need to accuse me anymore. The message does that all by itself. I feel sick. Not because I killed Lola, I didn't, but because the voicemail proves something I've been trying not to say out loud. Whatever happened after she got out of my car, it happened after I left her devastated and alone. So I finally tell the truth. Not the version people want, not murder, not some secret act of violence, but the truth that has been rotting inside me all this time. I broke up with her. She wanted a future that felt too big, too permanent, too suffocating for me. And instead of handling that with kindness, I lashed out. I said things I can't take back. Cruel things. I made her feel like loving me was a burden. That's the part I can't escape. Not just that she vanished, but that the last thing I gave her was pain. Autumn listens, but not softly. There's still anger in her, still suspicion, still grief sharpening every word. Yet something changes in the room once the truth is out. The silence after confession is different from the silence before it. It no longer feels like a lie is sitting between us. It feels like we've stepped into a worse but more honest reality. Lola was hurting, the adults in charge are failing, and the clock has been running this whole time. Then Max appears through the window like pure chaotic momentum. One second the room is heavy with shame and accusation, and the next he's there, all restless energy and reckless certainty. He doesn't arrive with comfort either. He arrives with a plan. If the police won't do their jobs, then we stop waiting for them. We go where the answers are supposed to be kept. We get the information ourselves. And suddenly the chapter shifts from confession to conspiracy, from grief to action. The idea sounds insane the second it lands in the room. Break into the police station. But that's what makes it feel possible. We've run out of safe options. We've run out of patience. And maybe that's the cruelest thing about this whole night. After everything, after the fear and the guilt and the voice I can't stop hearing, hope doesn't arrive looking noble. It arrives looking desperate, illegal, dangerous. But for the first time in a while, it feels like movement. And right then, movement is enough.
This is the night everything tips from bad idea into no turning back. I'm exhausted, hollowed out, staring at myself like I barely recognize the guy in the mirror. But tired doesn't matter anymore. If the police won't help Lola, then I have to stop waiting for permission. So I fake a body in my bed, sneak out my bedroom window, and tell myself I'm not about to get arrested for real, even though that's exactly what this feels like. I climb out carefully, balancing on the roofline, every movement loud in my own head. Max is waiting for me in the Liberty, engine running, nerves hidden under his usual chaos. Then we pick up Autumn, who looks like she was born ready to do something reckless. The three of us don't feel like heroes. We feel like desperate kids trying to outrun adults who have already failed us. The plan is insane, which is probably why it works at all. Max creates the diversion, calling in fake trouble to pull attention away from the station. Autumn goes inside first and keeps her father occupied, turning herself into a loud enough distraction to buy me time. And me? I slip into the police station with my heart trying to punch its way out of my chest. Every hallway feels too bright. Every second feels stolen. Inside Roan's office, it becomes a race against time and noise. Autumn gave me the password, and somehow that tiny detail feels more intimate than anything else tonight, knowing the code that unlocks the sheriff's world. I find Lola's file, but not where I expect it. For one awful second, I think we came here for nothing. Then I find the recordings buried in downloads, grab everything I can, and start transferring the files to the USB like I'm trying to steal answers straight out of the dark. That's when everything closes in. Voices, movement, the sense that the walls themselves are turning toward me. Max appears outside the window at the worst possible moment, and suddenly the plan changes from escape to survival. I pass him the USB and the keys, tell him to go if I'm not out soon, and in that moment I know there's no clean ending left for me tonight. Only damage control, only improvisation. So I do the only thing left. I shut the window, fix the room as fast as I can, and sit down like I belong there, like I've been waiting calmly instead of breaking into a police station. When Sheriff Roan walks in, I greet him like this is a conversation I chose. But underneath it, the truth is simple. This chapter isn't about bravery. It's about desperation, finally learning how to look the sheriff in the eye.
Day 3 of Mary's and Wayne's house.
I wake up with my forehead pressed against the cold glass of the passenger window, my breath creating a cloud of steam that blurs the trees outside. The double dose of liquid Benadryl Wayne gave me has left me in a thick fog, and though the itching from my latest allergy attack has subsided to a dull irritation, I feel heavy and slow. Wayne is incredibly apologetic, repeating over and over how sorry he is for making me sick. I try to smile at him, but inside, I am reeling with a confusion I can't voice. Just a few days ago, he told me I was allergic to eggs. Today, he claimed it was actually strawberries. I can't wrap my brain around how a father wouldn't know exactly what could kill his own daughter. Despite the nagging doubt, I try to convince myself he's just stressed. Back at the cabin, we run into a neighbor named Ben Hooper, who mentions that I look familiar. Wayne quickly dismisses it, and I retreat inside, eager for the warmth of the wood stove. As I hang Wayne's keys on the hook, a sharp, unbidden memory of a different doorway, a narrow white door with a Family Forever plaque flashes through my mind, featuring a dark-haired woman I don't recognize. Overwhelmed and exhausted, I crawl into bed, catching sight of Officer Bowman's business card propped against my lamp. I whispered to myself that I'm okay and that everything is fine, just before the medicine drags me back into a deep, dreamless sleep.
Day 4.
I'm sitting on the river swing again, kicking off the ground and trying to breathe. November is sinking its claws into me, and honestly, so is everything else. 4 days. It's only been 4 days since I woke up in that ditch with no name, no memories, and no idea who I am. But it feels like months. Every single hour is coated in this heavy fog of uncertainty, Benadryl, and the constant, suffocating weight of Wayne watching me. I can't even eat. I've been staring at this taco salad for a full hour, mentally cataloging every ingredient like a threat assessment. Tomatoes, cheese, romaine. Any of it could send me into another allergic spiral, and neither Wayne nor I have the slightest clue what my body is actually allergic to. That's the strangest part. We're both equally clueless about me, about Mary. The worst part isn't the food paranoia, it's the screaming need inside me to move, to run, to explore, to exist somewhere beyond these 4 walls and this scratchy couch. Mary Boone, the girl Wayne tells me I am, is supposedly a total homebody. She loves Netflix, she never leaves the house, but every single cell in my body is clawing at the cabin walls. I would genuinely rather set this place on fire than watch another episode of anything. Getting Wayne to let me come outside while he chopped wood was practically a negotiation. It might rain later. What about your dinner? There are coyotes, you know. He's trying so hard to keep me inside. I keep telling myself there's a reasonable explanation for that. When Wayne finally appears at the end of my swing, axe on his shoulder, head tilted, he offers hot chocolate, and I follow him inside, because what else do I do? Back on the couch, remote in hand, same scratchy blanket, same sickly Regency heiress energy. I'm flipping through the classics section when Ever After appears on the screen. Something stirs in my chest. Happiness? Nostalgia? I don't even know, but it's something, and I'm starving for something. I ask Wayne if I've seen it before. He smiles. That was one of your mother's favorites. I'm completely lost in it. I start mouthing every line. And somewhere in the middle, the movie cracks something open in me, because suddenly, I'm not in the cabin anymore. I'm on a big red sofa, 10 fluffy blankets, a giant bowl of buttery popcorn pressed between me and someone else. The same movie plays on an antique TV stand, and beside me, a woman with long dark hair shaking her fist at the screen. "I hate this part," she yells, though she doesn't sound like she hates it at all. I look at her and say, "You've seen this 10,000 times. How do you still get so mad?" She throws popcorn at me. I throw some back. She calls me a brat. We laugh. And then I'm back on the cabin couch, fingernails digging into the armrest. That was a memory, a real memory. I know her face, warm eyes, freckles, dark hair always in a 3-day bun. I can hear her voice in 100 moments, yelling at me for sneaking out, picking me up at the pool, hiding the cold brew so I don't vibrate through U.S. history, teaching me to drive while screaming that I'm too close to the curb. Mom. I remember my mom. Wayne notices I'm crying and comes to sit beside me. He's gentle, concerned. He asks if the movie upset me. I can barely get the words out. I think I might remember Mom. His whole body goes still. He reaches into his wallet and pulls out a small photo. 2 people in front of a flower-covered fireplace mantel. A wedding. Wayne, younger, less gray, with his sharp cheekbones and that familiar, careful smile. And beside him, a woman in white satin and lace. Honey blonde hair, huge blue eyes, pale and delicate. I stare at that photograph for a long time. I try to overlay the face in the photo with the face from my memory. Blonde over dark, blue over warm brown, delicate over freckled. It doesn't fit. No matter how I twist it, I cannot make that woman into the one on the red sofa. I got it wrong. Again. Or did I? Wayne is watching me so intently, so hopefully, that I can't bring myself to tell him the truth. So I smile and say, Yeah, that's her. His grin splits his whole face. See? What did I tell you? Be patient and it'll all come back. You were right, I say, perfectly still. I play another movie to fill the silence while my thoughts spiral. The small kindnesses tangle with the wrong notes. Wayne stocking the medicine cabinet. Wayne buying clothes in the wrong size. Wayne at the precinct in a panic. Wayne telling me about my egg allergy. Wayne providing a birth certificate with a smile. Wayne scolding me for the V-neck. You can't remember. You don't know the rules. I don't want to think about what any of this adds up to. It's almost midnight before I finally stand up, tell him I'm going to bed, and walk across the room. Sleep well, my Mary. My name rings in my ears again, like my brain is rejecting it, like it simply won't let the words settle.
I close the door, and just for the briefest, heart-stopping second, I think about locking it. I really need to get a grip.
The perspective shifts to Drew.
I'm sitting in Sheriff Roan's office, voluntarily, which is a first. He walked in and immediately wanted to know what I was doing in his space and how long I'd been there. I told him I came to talk. He reached for his ancient little silver recorder like it's 1975 and he's never heard of a phone app. He says Andrew Carter Diaz, additional statement, into it before he even asks me a question. I hate him a little bit for that. But I'm the one who walked in here, so I don't have a lot of room to complain. Here's the thing. I couldn't walk out. If I'd said never mind and left, Roan would have pulled the security footage, found me in his office, messing with his computer, and I'd be in handcuffs before the USB ever told us anything useful. The only way out was through, so I told him something true. I broke up with Lola that night. That's why she got out of the car. That's why I didn't go after her. She'd been talking about getting married. I panicked. She accused me of cheating. I didn't. I would never. We fought. She walked away, and I drove home like an absolute coward. I've been beating myself up about it every single day since she disappeared. Saying it out loud makes my throat burn. He listens. He even, and I did not expect this, says something almost human about it. That we're too young to be making those kinds of promises, that it makes sense I freaked out, that it wasn't on me to commit my whole life at 17. I shake my head. He doesn't get it. If this was just about a broken heart, sure, but I left her out there alone, in the dark, and she didn't come home. He asks me one more time, recorder shoved right in my face, what happened to Lola after I broke up with her. I tell him she got out of the car and ran down the road. I went home. That's the truth. All the truth I have. He clicks the recorder off. The second I'm past the front windows, I run. Autumn and Max are waiting outside the Liberty, faces cycling rapidly from panic to relief when they see me. I tell them I talked my way out. They ask how. I tell them it doesn't matter. We need to get somewhere safe and figure out what's on those recordings before someone catches us with that USB. Autumn's house. Her dad's on shift until 4. Empty house, no risk. Max grumbles about not getting shotgun in his own car. We ignore him. Autumn's house is nice, wide, lived in, comfortable. I've never been inside before. We always went to Lola's. I don't think about that for too long. Max nearly gives me a heart attack by pretending he lost the USB. I come very close to committing the crime Roan has always suspected me of. Max produces it from his pocket with a grin. I snatch it from him. Autumn comes back with a laptop in a purple, blue, black Galaxy case. We split the recordings 3 ways, plug in our headphones, and get to work. It's a marathon of garbage. A teenage girl calling in a tip about the mall because Lola was stuck up. A man who is fully, earnestly convinced Lola has joined the rodeo circuit in Texas. 6 separate calls from the same guy claiming alien abduction. 3 old ladies expressing hope for Lola's return alongside absolute venom for that evil boy. That evil boy. That's me. The hours slide by. Autumn's vegan pizza gets delivered, Max falls asleep in the beanbag, full rattling snore, which, given that he swore he could stay up all night, is both predictable and deeply irritating. Autumn keeps jerking herself awake by shifting positions. My back is a protest sign of aches. By 3 a.m, my brain is pure slurry. I call it. We need to go home before Roan comes off shift and finds 3 teenagers in his living room with stolen precinct data. That wakes Autumn up fast. I ask her to hold on to the USB. This is the last place Roan would think to look for it. She nods without hesitation. Then she gives me a look towards Max and says very clearly that she does not need her dad coming to find Max here. I absolutely understand and immediately start kicking at his foot. It takes Max 5 full minutes to achieve vertical, 3 more to reach the front door. The cold air snaps him back to something resembling consciousness, and by the time we reach his car, he's functional enough to drive me home. Before I get out, Max says something that stops me. You're pretty great for doing all of this, you know. I tell him I'm just doing what anyone would do for someone they care about. He says not everyone cares this much. I roll his words around the whole walk to my house. I really hope he's wrong, because if he's right, if most people would do less than this, then I genuinely cannot imagine how anyone sleeps at night. The fake pillow version of me is still in bed, undisturbed. My dad's never came in. I'm in the clear. I kick off my shoes, shove the pillows aside, and drop onto the mattress with a sigh that practically deflates me. The heat from the vent prickles my cold hands back to life. I can't believe we actually did it. I need to sleep. My eyes hurt, my head hurts, my everything hurts. But when I close my eyes, all I can see is Lola, her face, waiting. I reach for my headphones. Another caller fills my ears, insisting they saw Lola flying through the air, then dissolving into laughter and hanging up. I know I need to stop. I know I need sleep. I know I need to let my brain breathe, but I can't let go. I wake up like I've been electrocuted, almost knock my head into the nightstand, and the first thing I register is that my phone is dead. My headphones are still in, and there is way too much sunlight in this room for it to be a reasonable hour. 12:29. I swear, a lot. Dead phone means no alarm. Roan is already watching me like a hawk. If he hears I've skipped school, he'll be at my front door. I throw on jeans, a dark blue shirt, and my Beastie Boys hoodie. The one Lola gave me last Christmas. No sleep till Brooklyn. Extremely fitting, given that I got approximately none. Missed calls from both my dads, texts from Max and Autumn. Max even came to my window this morning, waited 15 minutes, and gave up. I send a rapid-fire string of apologies. He texts back immediately, of course he does, and offers to pick me up at third lunch. 30 extra minutes to listen to recordings and charge my phone. I'll take it. I put the next recording on speaker while I wash my face. Might as well multitask. A woman with an orange Lola sighting. Skip. The golf team captain's voice, I'm 90% sure, complaining that Lola's disappearance is annoying. Skip, and also maybe I'll check his Jetta's tires later. The alien guy again. Skip. And then this.
Hi, my name is Meredith Hoyt. The same jean jacket from the picture on the news. The one with the floral arms.
I don't move. Water drips from my chin, from my forearms. I rewind it, play it again.
The one with the floral arms.
I press pause, and I think my heart stops. 1,000 memories of that jacket detonate through my mind all at once. Lola at school, at the beach, at my kitchen table, faded denim, rose gold buttons she picked herself from a fabric store, custom floral sleeves that Autumn hand-stitched over months as her fashion design final project, rose gold thread, every stitch deliberate. She even sewed Lola's initials into the tag. There is not another jacket like that on earth. Lola wore it everywhere. She wore it the night she disappeared. I hit play again and listened to every word. A woman at a diner in Waybrook, down the coast near Florence. Dark-haired girl, chin length, jeans, black t-shirt, white hat. Came out with an older man, 40s, tall, sharp face, big gray van with peeling paint. She called this in just shy of 24 hours ago. Lola was alive. Yesterday, standing outside a diner. I check the date on the recording. My hands are shaking. Nothing good has ever come out of a nondescript van with peeling paint, and that man is definitely not her father. So who is he? And why hasn't she come home? My stomach goes hollow with the only answer that makes sense. Maybe she can't. I search Waybrook on the map, coast, near Florence, a few hours from here. She's still in Oregon, or she was yesterday. If she hasn't moved in 5 weeks, she probably isn't going anywhere fast. I call Autumn. No answer. I don't bother calling Max. He never puts his phone on silent, and I refuse to be responsible for getting it confiscated. There's only one option left, and I hate it. Roan. He has the authority. He can talk to the diner, pull security footage, get cops down there, follow the trail. I reopen my missing flyer, retype the details at the bottom, bold, underlined, font size turned up, and replace the photo from my desktop, me and Lola at the beach. I crop her out. The jacket couldn't be clearer. I hit print. I grab the flyer from the tray. I sprint out of the house without locking the door. I run the whole way, through my neighborhood, into downtown. I don't stop until I burst through the precinct doors. Savannah jolts out of her seat like I've detonated something. Her hand flies to her heart. Roan appears in his doorway, still in his jacket. He must have just walked in. He looks at me like I've lost my mind. Maybe I have, but I have something he doesn't.
He lets me in. He sits. He listens. I play Meredith Hoyt's recording across the desk. I slide the flyer toward him. I point at the jacket in the photo when she mentions the floral arms. I play it a second time for emphasis. And for one suspended, almost wonderful moment, he gets it. He says he remembers the jacket, says it took Autumn a month to finish, jots notes on a pad, almost word for word from the flyer. I lean forward, push the case. The diner might have footage. The van might be on security camera. Meredith left contact information. This is a thread. Pull it. He's nodding. He's almost there. And then he asks how I got a hold of Meredith Hoyt. She called the tip. The rest of the sentence dies on my lips. The silence that follows is maybe 4 seconds long and feels like 4 years. Roan's face starts turning red, slowly, steadily, like a kettle coming to boil. He stands up so fast his chair rockets backwards and slams into the paneled wall. The what? I put my face in my hands. He bellows. He wants to know how I got onto his computer. He calls me stupid. He calls the lead a smokescreen. He says the most obvious answer is usually the right one, that I hurt Lola, that now I'm manufacturing evidence pointing somewhere else, that the Waybrook call could have been my doing. I try. I push back. I play the recording again. I point at the jacket in the photo until my finger goes numb. He picks up my phone and throws it across the room. It hits the door and clatters to the carpet. All the fight leaves me. I tell him, someone has her, and if he doesn't look into this and Lola turns up dead, nobody will ever forgive him. He tells me there's no bogeyman serial killer, says things like that don't happen around here. I ask him if he'd bet Lola's life on it. He falters, just for a second. I turn and walk out. Behind me, he calls after me that my parents should take a lot of family photos over the next few days. Might be the last time they see me outside a jail cell. I walk through the stairs of 6 officers and Savannah and out the front door. The flyer is still in my hand. The recording is still on my phone. And Lola is still out there.
I shuffle to bed, going over my list again, the one I keep like a life raft. Mary Ellen Boone, 17, good student, senior, Lizzo, strawberry allergy, floral jackets, dead mom, not a nurse, not a brunette, bit of a homebody, cinnamon moles, purple, homeschooled, good catch. This is who I am, right? The brown-haired woman drifts through my mind again, the one from the red sofa memory. I try to fit her somewhere safe. A neighbor, a family friend, a face from a movie. Nothing sticks, and her face leaves an ache in my chest I can't explain. A tear slides down into my pillow. Sleep takes me before I can fight it.
I'm at the edge of a softball field in my uniform, twirling my bat, full of that electric pre-at-bat energy, the pressure, the eyes on me, the teammates tensing on their bases. I live for this. Coach claps me on the shoulder. I look up into the bleachers. She's there, front row, like always, still in her work uniform, a nurse's scrubs. She tugs her hair up off her neck and winks at me. I step up to home plate, and the field dissolves.
I'm in Wayne's van on the way back from Waybrook, fogging up the window. The trees get closer and closer until they're brushing the roof, then clawing at the glass. I ask Wayne what's happening. He smiles at me. All his teeth are fangs. Everything is okay. The branches break through. I disappear. I'm at a school assembly, sitting beside a girl I know. We're wearing matching sequin Converse, hers silver, mine black. The gym is a wall of noise, the seniors section erupting when the teacher shouts for them. The girl beside me laughs. School spirit is dumb, but holy shit is it infectious. I couldn't agree more. I'm sitting at a kitchen island. There's a birthday cake in front of me. Chocolate, covered in fudge frosting, listed to one side like it's already given up. Black glitter 17 candles. She's never been a baker. She pushes it toward me and starts to sing. But she sings it wrong, like always. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You're gorgeous and perfect, and I love you lots too. I roll my eyes and tell her she knows the actual words. She tells me she's been singing it wrong since the day I was born, and she's not about to change now. She's 39, not old, thank you very much, though she lets me be the judge of that. She brandishes a fork at the cake with the energy of someone who has been waiting for permission. Happy birthday, baby girl. The warmth spreads through my whole body. I smile. Love you, Mom. The kitchen goes dark, gray. The cake rots in real time, black mushrooms splitting the frosting, decay crawling toward her hands. Her skin goes moldy. She keeps smiling. Her eyes sink back into her head. Where are you, baby girl?
I scream. Her head splits open like a costume. Wayne is underneath, staring. I wake up gasping, fists full of comforter, feathers starting to escape where I've nearly torn the fabric. But she's still there, even awake. I can see her in memory after memory, sharp and clear and real and mine. Cheering at my softball games, fighting with me about curfew, doing my hair for homecoming, burning butter and ordering Thai and eating it on the living room floor. 2 lost phones in the same month. All of it. Fat, hot tears fall without warning. Not gentle tears, the kind that come from somewhere deep and desperate, half grief, half fear. Because now I know 2 things with absolute certainty. My mother is not dead, and Wayne lied to me. I go through it systematically, because if I fall apart, I can't think, and I need to think. Fact: Wayne lied about my mom. He said she was a stay-at-home mom. She's a nurse. He said she was dead. I can feel in my bones that she isn't. He showed me a blonde woman in a wedding photo and let me believe she was the woman from my memory. I smiled and said yes to a lie, and he glowed with relief. Why does he want me to misremember my own mother? Fact: Wayne forgot about my strawberry allergy. A distant father, maybe, one who's been out of the picture long enough to miss something like that. Fact: He says I'm a homeschooled homebody, but I think I'm an athlete, a competitive one who thrives on pressure and pep rallies and being watched. The life filling in around the edges of my memory is not Netflix on a couch, it's school hallways and softball diamonds and a best friend in matching shoes. Fact: He has documented proof. Birth certificate, social security card, old ID, photos from childhood to now. That part holds up, unless a custody battle, a father who lost and took matters into his own hands. And then I go through the other side because I have to be fair. Wayne ran to the pharmacy when my hives came back. He bought blankets and cinnamon rolls and too many first aid supplies. He sat with me through movies and never once raised his voice. He's been patient and attentive and gentle every single day. He looked at me in that police station like I was the thing he'd been most afraid of losing. Good people don't kidnap teenagers, not even their own kids. So what is going on? Am I a confused girl with a concussion, putting too much faith in nightmares? Or am I being fed a false life by someone who needs me not to remember the real one? I look at Officer Bowman's business card on the end table, moonlight on the white paper. I'm not alone. Everything is okay. Everything is... Heavy footsteps in the living room. Almost 4 a.m. I slide under the comforter and cover my face. I slow my breathing, close my eyes. My door creaks open. The hinges whine. The doorknob taps the wall. Silence. And then, soft, careful footsteps, thumping gently across the floor. The foot of my bed creaks under his weight as he sits. He doesn't speak. He doesn't move. He just sits there. My pulse is so loud I'm certain he can hear it. I don't breathe. I don't move. I don't know which Wayne is in this cabin with me, the attentive father or the kidnapper.
And in this moment, in the dark, with him sitting at the foot of my bed in total silence, it doesn't feel like it matters. After an impossibly long stretch of nothing, the bed creaks again. He stands, he sighs, and leaves. The door clicks shut. I wait. I listen. When I'm certain he's gone, I lower the comforter from my face. The room is empty. I release everything from my lungs and sink into the mattress. What the actual fuck was that?
It's day 5 of Mary in Wayne's house.
I don't know when I fall back asleep. One moment I'm staring at the wall, listening for coyotes and silence and footsteps, and the next I'm blinking at gray morning light through my curtain. Almost 10. I sit up and look immediately at the foot of the bed, just to check, just to make sure. It's empty. I wrap my arms around myself anyway. Voices from the driveway pull me out of my own head. I throw on black leggings and maroon plaid button-up, tags still on, I rip them off, and creep toward the front door. Wayne's outside, and so is Officer Bowman. I stop. I listen through the gap in the door. Bowman is asking Wayne to call if he sees anything, mentions a wife who's understandably upset, hopes for a happy ending. He tells Wayne to say hello to me, says he'll come back soon to check on me, that they still need to talk about my car, that they haven't found any trace of the crash site. Wayne hesitates, just for a fraction of a second, then smiles and shakes his hand. Sounds good to me. Have a great day. I reach for the doorknob, and then Bowman drives away, and Wayne's face changes. The warmth evaporates in an instant. What's underneath it is cold and furious. He stares at the paper in his hands and crushes it into a ball between his palms, jaw tight, fury rolling off him in waves. I have never seen him look like that. I whirl around and run back to my room. My door clicks shut half-second before he clumps inside. I listen from behind it. Pans clatter, the gas stove clicks. Something hits a hot pan and sizzles. The smell of fennel sausage drifts under the door. Familiar, safe, normal. I open my door and walk into the kitchen like nothing happened. He calls me Sunshine, says he thought he'd have to hold breakfast under my nose to get me out of bed. Easy, warm, completely normal. I ask, slowly, carefully, if I heard someone in the driveway earlier. I know I'm testing him. If he tells me it was Bowman, if he shows me the flyer, then I have nothing to worry about. He can explain everything. I want him to explain everything. He flips a sausage patty and doesn't turn around. Oh, that? It was some minivan mom trying to sell cookie dough for a school fundraiser. The lie hits like a hammer. He turns and smiles at me as he says it. I keep smiling. I eat my breakfast without tasting it. I scrape the plate clean without realizing. He tells me he has fantastic news. The contractor called. The floors are done. They can go home. Today, in less than an hour. The wave of fear that hits me nearly knocks me off the stool. I've been desperate to leave this cabin since day 1, to be around people, to see places that might trigger real memories. But now that it's happening, all I feel is dread. If I'm homeschooled and isolated at home too, nobody who knows the real me will know where I am. At least here, Bowman knows where to find me. After today, he won't. I offered to do the dishes, partly to be helpful, mostly because I need him out of the kitchen. The second his boots crunch on the gravel outside, I cross to the burn pile by the fireplace. Cardboard boxes, paper towel rolls, egg carton. And on top, a crumpled ball of white paper. I grab it, tuck it into my bra, run back to the sink. I take the box to my room, kick the door half closed, dump everything in, listen for Wayne's sounds. Then I pull out the paper and smooth it flat on the blanket. A kind, neighborly face stares back at me under big red letters. Missing.
Ben Hooper, the old man from the driveway, the one who smiled at me and said he looked familiar. Height, weight, eye color. Last seen on an afternoon walk. 2 days ago. Breath, 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 breath. I hear Bowman in the driveway asking Wayne to call if he happens to see him. Breath, 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 breath. I see Ben's face smiling at me. Something about you looks so familiar, I can't put my finger on it. Breath, 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 breath. Wayne's voice. She has one of those faces. And then I can't breathe at all. A sweet old man looks at me like he's trying to place me, and then vanishes before he ever makes it back to his house next door. The flyer says he went missing on his afternoon walk. Not that evening, not later, during. Which means he disappeared between talking to us and walking the 30 feet home. Wayne lied about knowing the neighbor. Wayne is now in a sudden hurry to leave. I turn automatically to the nightstand, looking for Bowman's business card, the one that's been there since I arrived, my proof that I'm not alone, my way out if I ever needed it. The space beside the lamp is empty. The card is gone. Maybe everything isn't okay. Maybe it never was.
The perspective shifts to Drew.
I give Roan the finger through the glass and walk. I'm still furious. Not the hot, scattered kind, the cold, purposeful kind. Because here's the thing. If Lola was in Waybrook 24 hours ago and I was here, that recording doesn't just point to her being alive. It clears me. And Roan threw it across the room. He doesn't want a bigger crime. He wants a runaway and a boyfriend to blame. And this recording doesn't fit that story, which means by the time anyone on his team bothers listening to the tip line, it could be too late. I smooth my crumpled flyer against my leg and check my phone. Almost 1. Max will be leaving school soon. I start walking, then jogging, then running. I spot Max in the parking lot in his fluorescent yellow t-shirt, impossible to miss, which is on brand for him, and I'm at his side before he can even text me. No time for catch-up. I ask where Autumn is, and he turns around without a single question and walks us straight back into the school. We find her in the cafeteria. Red hair, white sweater, one earbud out, still listening to recordings, I'm almost certain. She spots us through the window, eyebrows shooting up. We wave her into the corridor and duck into the first empty classroom we find. History 12. Mr. Moore's room. My eyes go straight to Lola's empty desk. I press play on Meredith Hoyt's recording and watch their faces. Max scrubs his hands down his face when it ends, says something about how long she's been gone, trails off. We both know what he almost said. I let him off the hook. Autumn doesn't look away from Lola's photo. She looks terrified. She asks if Lola's in danger, says Lola would never take off without her phone, without telling anyone. Then she asks if we should take it to her dad. I tell her I already went to the station, that Roan threw me out the second he realized about the recordings, that he thinks the whole thing is a smokescreen. Max explodes, loud enough to check the empty hallway behind him. The fuck? He wants to go above Roan's head, call the media, call my lawyer, do something. Autumn goes quiet. I can see her processing it. Her dad, Lola's family friend, someone who went to school with Lola's mum, refusing to follow a genuine lead. She says he should be driving to Waybrook himself. She says there's a potential eyewitness on that tape, and that's more than anything Roan has on me. Then she stops talking and looks at me, and I say the thing I came here to say, which is why we need to go to Waybrook. They both say what at the exact same time. I lay it out. We know Lola was at the diner. We know the man she was with. We know the van. If we drive out there and talk to people who saw them, we build a case so solid the police can't brush it aside anymore. Max is in before I finish the sentence. Autumn starts listing reasons it's a bad idea. School, attendance. What if it wasn't even her? She trails off when she sees my face. I tell her if she doesn't want to come, she doesn't have to, but don't tell me this isn't a lead because she's too scared to follow it.
I walk out to the parking lot. She sprints after us. I'm coming too. I narrow my eyes. She tells me to shut up. We shake on it. Max leans out of the driver's seat. Get in, losers, we're going sleuthing. We pass the police station on our way out of town. All three of us look at it as we go by. Nobody says anything. On the highway, Autumn asks what the plan actually is once we get to Waybrook. I tell her I've been formulating this scheme for half an hour, and I don't know beyond finding the diner and hoping the right person is working. She says that's not a plan. I tell her to come up with something better. She holds out her hand. Give me your phone. She presses play on Meredith Hoyt's recording and writes down her contact information on the back of Max's Spanish test. Then she picks up her own phone, dials *67 to block her number, and calls Meredith Hoyt. The second Meredith answers, Autumn becomes someone else entirely. Hello, Mrs. Hoyt? This is Savannah Bateman from the Washington City Police Department. Max's jaw drops. My hand goes over my face. She tells Meredith officers reviewed the recordings and believe her tip is of great importance. She tells her there's an officer headed to Waybrook this evening and asks if she would be willing to give an official statement at the diner. Meredith asks if it was really her, at the diner. The vulnerability in her voice is real. She called because she hoped. Autumn tells her they believe so. Meredith agrees to be there at 5. The line goes dead. I ask where on earth that accent came from. She says you pick it up when you spend enough afternoons doing homework in someone's office. Max says she's amazing. His ears go pink. He stares at the road. Autumn looks out the window. I clear my throat very loudly and redirect everyone back to the mission. I ask what happens when Meredith arrives and finds 3 teenagers instead of a uniformed officer. Autumn says she has no idea, but getting the witness to come to us seemed better than wandering around asking strangers if they saw a girl with her fake dad. Fair enough. Step on it, Max. He gives me a mock salute and presses the gas. We rocket down the highway toward the coast. Each mile feels like the first forward movement I've made in 5 weeks. Each mile feels like it's finally bringing me closer to her. I stare through the windshield at the road ahead. Hold on, Lola. We're coming.
5:42. Meredith Hoyt is 45 minutes late. The salt shaker tips over and spills everywhere. I sweep it onto the floor before Sandra, our waitress who has been circling us like a threat assessment since we walked in, sees the mess and adds it to whatever list she's keeping about us. The door dings again. We all turn again, like we have every single time. This time, a short, thin woman with streaky blonde hair, scanning the booths with nervous energy. Nobody with her. Bingo. I tell her the truth. We're not who she expected. We called her because we thought she was our best chance at finding Lola, and this could be a life or death situation. She unfolds her arms by about half a centimeter. That's enough. She gives us 5 minutes, says she's not happy about it. I tell her I wouldn't be either, truthfully, and lead her to the table. Sandra arrives immediately to take orders, smiling only at Meredith. Max studies the menu with the concentration of someone defusing a bomb and asks if he can get some of the giant cinnamon rolls. Sandra tells him those are morning only. He asks why they're on the all-day menu then. I physically remove the menu from his hands. He settles for a platter of fries. Meredith asks Autumn directly, was the missing girl really her best friend? The was catches in my chest like a splinter. Autumn smiles and says she's known Lola since they were little. When Meredith turns to me and asks how I knew her, past tense, again, the girl, never by name, I correct it in my head and say, she's my girlfriend. Autumn almost says something. She doesn't. Meredith wants to know why Autumn's dad isn't sitting here, why he didn't follow up on the tip. Autumn handles it perfectly. She says her dad is on the wrong track, too stubborn to consider other theories, and they didn't want Lola to pay the price for it. Her voice fills with hope by the end of it, real, genuine hope, directed entirely at Meredith. Meredith's eyes shine. I think I did, yes. She walked us through it. She was running late for lunch, hurrying toward the door, and she saw her in the parking lot, right there, the spot next to the entrance, the one by Max's car.
standing outside the passenger door of the van, scratching at her neck. Hives. She looked dazed. The man she was with, not her dad, came running from the drugstore with Benadryl. He helped her into the van. When Meredith was watching, he got in and drove away fast. She didn't know for certain who it was, not until Lola smiled as the van pulled away. She smiles in all of the photos on TV. That's when Meredith knew. And she called. The van headed north through town, then turned up the coast. North isn't enough. We can't drive the whole coastline blind, and we all know it. But before she goes, Meredith lights up. Oh, actually, they'd been to Nana's. Nana's Favorites, a thrift store up the road. Bright pink shopping bags with the logo on the side. Easy to spot. There was one in the van. They were there before the diner. Autumn and I look at each other. She grins. Meredith slides out of the booth, tells us she's sorry she doesn't have more, tells us not to be foolish, to take this to professionals and let them handle it. We murmur a collective, yes, ma'am. She gives each of us a long, pointed look and walks out. Max flicks a fry at Autumn. She throws it back. It gets stuck in her hair. We try Sandra. Drew turns on the charm. Thank you for the service, keep the change, question about a girl with short, dark brown hair and green eyes, maybe with an older man. Sandra folds her arms and says she's not telling us anything about her or her dad. That's not her dad, Autumn and I say at the same time. Sandra tells us if Lola's really missing, the police can get a warrant for the security footage. She's not handing anything over to random kids. She tells us to get out. We wait in the parking lot. Autumn says we still have the thrift store. I want to agree. Without physical evidence, Roan won't move. We might be out of options. Max strolls out of the diner 10 minutes later, whistling, banana in hand. He asks how much I love him. I tell him we're in a hurry. He says it again. He sends me a photo. We get out. Lola. A dozen grainy black and white photos from the security system. Dark hair, chin length, floral jacket, white hot. Smiling in a few of them. Smiling in the same booth we just sat in with the man across from her. Face turned just away enough from every frame to be unidentifiable. A sharp nose. Hard to make out. But her. Definitely her. Max found the security system in the closet across from the bathroom, rewound it to yesterday's lunch footage, took the photos, grabbed a snack from the kitchen, and walked out. I clap him on the back so hard he nearly chokes on his banana. Autumn beams from the back seat. We're really doing this. We're going to find her. I smile back and mean it for the first time in weeks. First, we find Nana.
Perspective shifts to Mary. It's her 5th day in Wayne's house.
I'm not entirely present as we pack up the cabin. Wayne comes into my room and finishes it for me. Rolls up the Don't Worry poster, kicks my shoes toward me, drops the yellow Afghan on top of my box. I carry it outside in the gray morning, and the cold doesn't reach me. Nothing reaches me. Everything feels a step too far away to touch. Ben Hooper is missing. Wayne lied to a police officer. He lied to me. He stole my business card. He might have stolen me. I don't know what to do. I don't have anywhere to go. The only option in front of me is getting into this van. But then, a blast of ice-cold memory straight to the face. The inside of the van. The empty back. Bumping down a dirt road in the dark. Rolling into the sidewall around a corner. My face pressed against carpet and pine needles. Dark windows. Panic! I gasp, and it's gone. Pre-storm morning fills the space again. Wayne is beside me, pushing a box in, asking if everything's okay. I tell him the bag surprised me, that it almost fell. He tells me to go wait in the passenger seat. They just need to load a few things from the basement and then they're leaving. I beg for 5 minutes at the river instead, just to breathe. He agrees, tells me to put on my jacket, and disappears back inside. I sit on the swing and let the last 5 days replay. Wayne's relief when he saw me in the police station. Relief, but also something else. That she couldn't remember him. His insistence on driving 2 hours for leggings.
cutting up strawberries, blaming me for eating eggs I'm apparently not allergic to, ordering me a strawberry smoothie, rushing us out of the diner the second we started attracting attention. The floors that somehow became floors and cabinets, all completed in 5 days. The stranger in the wallet photo he tried to pass off as my mother. If it weren't for that birth certificate and all those photos, fear explodes through my veins before the thought even finishes forming. He's gotten everything wrong because he has the wrong daughter. I can't breathe. What if he's not my dad? What if I'm not Mary? What if that's not my name? I launch off the swing and start pacing. The mud swallows my new white shoes. The question burrows into my skull and won't stop. What if I'm not Mary? What if I'm not Mary? What if I'm not Mary? Who am I if I'm not Mary? I don't know my real name. I don't know my mother's name. I don't know how to find her. The neighbor is missing. Bowman is gone. I am about to get into a van with a man who barely lets me outside, and there will be nobody who knows where I am. A branch snaps near the woodpile. I spin toward it. Nothing but the tarp-covered woodpile and the forest. Then the breeze shifts, and with it, a smell, like bad meat or old eggs, only far worse, like something rotting beneath the surface of the earth. I step back instinctively, and my foot hits the water. The splash disturbs the silence, and something moves. A coyote, standing 12 feet away, completely still, so still I nearly missed it. Blood around its mouth, something in its jaw. I crouch slowly, drag my fingers across the riverbed until they close around a rock, mason jar-sized with a long, sharp point. I stand. The coyote stares at me for one long, flat moment. Then it takes off through the trees, dropping what it had been carrying. My legs pull me toward the hole before I can stop them. The smell is everywhere now. The disturbed earth, the drag marks in the muck, whatever the coyote dug up and abandoned 6 feet away. I stop. I tell myself it's just a dead squirrel, something gross, something animal and ordinary. I look anyway. 1 second of images seared into my brain like a tattoo I didn't consent to. Bite marks on the side of a partially dirt-covered face, blood, ripped skin, open, milky eyes, wounds on a mutilated neck, a half-exposed buffalo print hat, one arm stretched out from the hole, a hand discarded 6 feet away by the coyote. A familiar face. A kind face. Ben Hooper wasn't missing. The coyote dug up Ben Hooper's corpse.
Perspective now shifts to Drew.
Nana's favorites is not what I pictured. It's small and weathered, with the kind of shutters that look like they've seen too many coastal storms. The lights are turning off as we pull up. A woman with white hair and hot pink glasses steps outside. Pink glasses, pink yoga pants, pink purse, all of it matching with total commitment. She tells us kindly that the store is closed and we'll have to come back tomorrow. I hold up the flyer. She takes it. She squints at it through her thick glasses. Her hand comes up to cover her mouth. She's missing? When I tell her we think the man with Lola may have kidnapped her, Eloise goes pale and backs into the door. She says they smiled at each other. They laughed. The girl put on her new clothes before she left and everything seemed fine. Her voice pitches higher with every word. Autumn steps in. She puts her hand on Eloise's shoulder. She tells her she's not to blame, that nobody at the diner thought anything was wrong either, that the only person who did harm here was him. She needs Eloise steady, not spiraling. It works. Eloise nods. She tells us what she can. The girl was young, our age. The man was quiet, serious. Bags under his eyes. Both of them, actually. They shopped. He helped her with her bags, and then they were gone. I ask Eloise if she'd call the tip line. She says, of course. Autumn pulls out a pen, asks Eloise for paper, pink sticky notes, naturally, and writes down 2 numbers, the tip line and Roan's personal cell. Eloise raises an eyebrow at the second number. He's her dad, I say, and kind of an ass. I absolutely mean to keep that second part to myself. It slips out. Eloise lets out a surprised bark of a laugh and says it would be her honor to hassle Autumn's father if it means getting this sweet girl home. I am genuinely filled with love for this woman. We turn to leave. Eloise shrieks. Another bird from behind the same shutter. Max dives into the car and stays there. I spin around and Eloise's eyes are enormous. She did say something. Before they left, Lola said she wanted to change into her new clothes before the long drive back to Alton. The buzzing in my ears tells me I've stopped breathing. She's positive. She remembers because her brother used to live up there. Alton is 2.5 hours away, in the middle of nowhere, isolated, far from everything. Her brother hated it. Lola said Alton. Lola is in Alton. We sit in the car in silence, watching Eloise rip into Roan through the glass door. Autumn says, holy shit, you guys. We know where he took her. Max says, Alton. Then Autumn asks if we go home, if we're done. I look at Max. Max looks at me. We went through everything Roan would do with this evidence, how he'd find a way to dismiss it, how Drew's name on anything makes it tainted to him, how after Meredith's call, after the security footage, after a witness who spoke directly to Lola, he still might not move. Autumn doesn't look happy about it, but she says, you're right. Lola deserves more than leaving this up to my dad. Max punches the air. I tell him nobody is punching anyone today. New plan. Don't go through Roan at all. Take everything directly to the Alton Police Department, another precinct, impartial, with no stake in making Drew the villain. Force Roan to work with them or look incompetent. Take away his choice entirely. Autumn grins slowly. I'm only angry I didn't think of it first. Alton, though, is 2.5 hours north. The precinct closed an hour ago. They'll need to stop for the night. Then Autumn's phone rings. The screen shows her dad. She answers on speaker. Where are you? Roan, the voice fills the car. He knows they left school. He's been getting calls from a woman in Waybrook. He's asking what the hell they're up to. Autumn tells him she's busy doing his job and hangs up. She tells us to turn off our phones so he can't track them. Max makes a sound like a mouse being squeezed. I don't turn mine off right away. I open the family chat. Dad and Papa have been texting for hours, begging me to call. It hurts to read. I send them the grainy diner photo. I tell them Lola is alive, that she was in Waybrook yesterday, that 2 witnesses saw her and 1 spoke to her. I tell them to go to the Scotts, to tell Mr. Scott that Roan is dropping the ball. I tell them I have to do this, that finding her or not finding her will follow me forever, and that I'm safe and I love them and I'll see you tomorrow. Then I shut off my phone. The guilt of it follows me up the highway like a second shadow. Fingers crossed they're better at being cops than Roan, Max mutters. We drive north into the dark, towards Alton, towards Lola.
Perspective shifts to Mary.
Rain starts to fall the moment I finish retching onto the dirt. Like the storm wants to wash this away. It can't. Wayne killed Ben Hooper. He sent me inside the house and he killed him. He shook Bowman's hand with those same hands an hour later. He smiled at me over scrambled eggs. He said we could go home today. I think about yesterday, how Wayne came inside without his jacket. I thought nothing of it. Now I know. He got it bloody, came inside to play devoted dad, waited for me to take my nap, and then snuck back out to dig this grave. I am such a colossal idiot. A branch snaps behind me. I spin around. Wayne is standing there, blood beginning to trace a line down his cheek. No, wait, not yet. He's completely intact. He glances at the hole, then at me. We are both getting rained on. He tusks. Oh, Mary, you always ruin everything. I smash my rock into his temple. His whole head drives to the side. He drops to one knee, eyes unfocused, blood running down his cheek. I run.
His roar of pain follows me into the trees. I tear through the forest with no plan except away. Branches rip at my face. Rocks press into the soles of these completely wrong shoes. Thorns grab at my jacket like they're trying to hold me back. I don't look behind me. I can't hear anything above the roar of my own pulse. But I know where I'm going. Ben mentioned a wife. If there's any justice left in this world, she'll be home, because if Wayne is still standing, I won't make it farther than next door. And then, all at once, I remember everything. Him coming up behind me as I checked the mail at home, dragged into this life, into this van, waking up in the back as it rumbled up the mountain in the dark, lying on my side, piecing it together. A YouTube trick for breaking zip ties. Pretending to be asleep when the van stopped. Throwing myself at the back door, knocking him flat on his ass in the driveway, running for the road in the middle of the night, screaming for my mum. The branches, the cold night air on my bare arms. His voice, deliberate, close, patient. Get back here right now, young lady. There was no car accident, no McMinnville, no house renovations. Just Wayne chasing me through the woods until I ended up on that road. The ditch, the police station, the business card, all of it. I see it through the trees. Blue paint, wood smoke, a bay window lit from within. 10 feet of dead brown lawn. 5. The screen door opens. Someone heard something. Someone is coming outside. I lunge out of the trees, and a hand wraps around my throat from behind. Another clamps over my mouth, catching the sound before it can leave my body. The trees swallow me again. I scratch at his hands. They only tighten. My throat is being pinched in half. Black dots fill my vision. He breathes in quiet little bursts against my cheek. He doesn't say anything for a long moment. The old woman steps fully onto the porch, looks around, sees nothing. The screen door swings shut. His stubble scrapes my skin as he leans close to my ear. Oh, Mary, you'll pay for this. The black dots take everything.
Perspective shifts to Drew.
5:47 a.m., Alton, Oregon. Max is starfished across his entire mattress, snoring loud enough to vibrate the motel art off the walls. Autumn's in a tight ball, comforter on the floor. They never wash those. Not moved all night. I've been at the window for hours, watching a town that looks like the place dreams come to die. But Lola was coming here. I can feel her shadow in this place. I turn back to the dresser and shuffle my papers for the millionth time. I spent most of the night getting the presentation right. Diner photos, Lola's Instagram photo and the jacket, fresh missing person flyer, a typed timeline from the night she disappeared to Waybrook. Everything we know, in order, in black and white. It's not a police report, but it tells the story of a girl who deserves to come home. At checkout, I see the bulletin board. Ben Hooper, wall to wall. His wife has been posting them on every surface in town since early morning. The girl behind the counter rolls her eyes, says no wonder he took off. His wife seems a little out there. I swallow my coffee-flavored bile and grab some bananas. I know exactly how that wife feels. The precinct is small, 1 story, a painted gold badge on the sign. I park as far from the door as possible. Autumn raises an eyebrow at all the empty spaces beside us. I tell her I'm not okay. She tells me it's not just my word anymore. We have 2 witnesses, we have the photos, we have a timeline. They have no reason to ignore this. Max says unless Roan shows up and convinces them I'm a sociopath. Autumn spins around and tells him to shut up. He gets out of the car. Inside, a flurry of activity. Officers from multiple towns, different badges, different cities, all gathered around a bulletin board with Ben Hooper's face at the center. Officer Redhead, short red hair, matching mustache, tells us to take a seat. They're busy. They'll be with us as soon as they can. We sit on the wooden bench. Max is asleep within minutes. I watch the minute hand go around and around. Over an hour. Autumn gets us in. She puts Lola's flyer on the counter,
names the three of us, tells him she's the sheriff's daughter and she knows how this works. If he won't take a statement, direct us to someone who will. We're not leaving. He sighs. Come on back. And I tell the truth, all of it. The boat launch, the breakup, the weeks of searching, the stolen evidence, the jacket, Meredith, Eloise, Alton. He takes everything down. With every new detail, I brace for dismissal. The stolen evidence should get a lecture at minimum. He gives us a deep frown and a keep going gesture. He leans further forward the longer we talk. He pulls up Lola's case file on the computer and holds our greeny diner photo beside the image in the report. Most of the color drains from his face. He demands more about the van, the jacket, Lola. He calls Eloise. He leaves a voicemail. Then he makes a less fun call to Roan, takes it in another room, comes back looking angry and determined. He mentions possibly splitting the search party to look for both Ben and Lola. I am soaring. For the first time in 5 weeks, I am genuinely, fully, terrifyingly hopeful. Autumn speaks with Roan. She comes back flushed and smiling. She hung up on him. He was already on the highway, 45 minutes out. The clock says 10:05. Roan closing in should terrify me. It doesn't. Officer McCurry, who does have a name, I learn, has more questions. We go through the timeline twice more. By the end of it, he leans back and says, "Holy shit, this is a lot," and tells us to let the professionals handle it from here. I say nothing, because I won't stop until Lola is home. The door opens. A young officer walks in. Blue eyes, ruffled hair, looks barely older than us. McCurry waves him over. "Bowman, I need you for a second." I go very still. McCurry asks, "Didn't you pick up a teenage girl a few days ago?" Bowman takes the photo of Lola. He frowns. "Yeah, but she wasn't a missing person. She was in a car accident. Her father came and took her home. I just got back from checking on them, actually." He tilts his head at the photo, says he can see the confusion. Same age, same jacket, but it's not the same girl. Autumn is lightning, but if she had the same jacket, it's one of a kind. I made it. McCurry presses him. Bowman looks again, goes through every photo, squints at the flyer, shakes his head. He says he verified the girl's identity himself, saw all her paperwork, checked her birth announcement in the McMinnville paper. He's sorry. He wishes he had better news. Autumn makes a sound, half breath, half sob. Max puts his shoulder on her. She doesn't shrug him off. "But you said they look the same," I hear myself say, voice climbing. What are the chances 2 girls who look exactly alike with the same jacket in the same town and they're not the same person? Bowman sets down the papers. He looks sad. "I'm sorry, you have the wrong person."
The perspective shifts to Drew.
I feel myself moving, but I can't see anything. Blink, someone's back. Heavy work boots stepping through bracken. Blink, nothing. Blink, the edge of the driveway. My fingers spread, searching for something to grip. I lift my head. An elbow drives into my face. Nothing. I can't feel it. I know it hurt. I can't feel it. Something cold against the side of my face, something wet on my nose dripping down my cheek. Time has passed. I don't know how much. Everything is cold. A single bare light bulb hangs from a fixture above me, the only light in a room that feels like it was designed to have no light at all. Something cold is clamped around my ankle, metal, biting into the skin. Blood. A wild shot connecting, running blind, the ground disappearing, falling. And then a dam breaks. I remember my home, my family, running through trees after escaping the van, desperate to get back to my mom, to my friends, to the life he tried to steal from me. I remember him catching up, his hand in my hair, my face against a tree, pain ricocheting, blood gushing from my nose. I landed a shot. He let go.
I ran blind through branches until the ground simply stopped being there, and I fell down, 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 a steep embankment, hitting trees, rocks, branches on the way. The ditch, the road, the police station, all of it. There was no accident, no McMinloo, no renovations, no amnesia that was mine. Everything I couldn't remember, he made me forget, with his hands on my face and a story he rehearsed before I even woke up. I can't make my body work. Every limb weighs too much. The cold and the blood and the dark are pressing down on me, and I can't push back. Panic comes anyway, slow and suffocating, a blanket made of rocks, because I know what this means. Someone like Wayne doesn't leave witnesses. I need to run. I need to get up. I need to get out. I cannot move. All I can hear is him. You don't remember me? Mary? I'll see you in a minute. Once we get home, we don't have to leave for a long time. Sleep well, my Mary. Mary, Mary, Mary. You always ruin everything. The darkness creeps back in through the pink glow of my eyelids. I try to claw myself back. I have nothing left to claw with. I think of my family, how badly they must want to see me. I hear them calling, looking for me, and one final piece clicks into place, quiet and certain and mine. I know my name.
Perspective shifts to Drew.
Officer McCurry is in the copy room arguing with Bowman. 2 full seconds after Bowman says it's not her, McCurry is on his feet. I slip away from our seats and press myself to the wall beside the door. I hear everything. McCurry pushes. The same age, same hair, same jacket. What are the chances? What if the girl Bowman picked up is Lola Scott? Bowman's answer is immediate. Her name is Mary Boone. Father provided 6 forms of identification. He's a sometimes local, owns a fishing cabin nearby. Bowman verified it himself. And then the line that goes through me like a blade. She got her head scrambled in that accident. She couldn't even remember her name. A girl who looks exactly like Lola, with Lola's jacket, who couldn't remember who she was. And Bowman let her go with the man who had a stack of paperwork ready. I can't be in there anymore. I push through the front doors and lean against the brick outside. All of it, and it still ends here. I can't construct a world where Lola's jacket is on a different girl. I can't. 3 people who grew up with Lola identified that jacket at the diner. Eloise saw it in the thrift store. Meredith Hoyt called it in specifically. A stranger with the same face, the same hair, the same age, the same one-of-a-kind jacket. It's not possible. It's not possible. But Bowman is adamant, and Bowman checked. I stand there until my eyes go raw and the cold seeps through my sweatshirt to the bone. The door opens. Autumn stops beside me without a word. She pulls a piece of paper from her pocket and hands it to me. Ben Hooper's address, copied from McCurry's unlocked screen while he was in the copy room arguing. Ben Hooper's address, which means the Boone cabin is right next door. She says she knows me. She knows I can't leave without an absolute. She says, go see for yourself. I ask if she's coming. She shakes her head. Her dad will be here in 10 minutes. Max already knocked over the coffee pot in the back to buy me time to get out. Of course he did. I hug her. She laughs and tells me to hurry before Roan Tokyo drifts into the parking lot. Find her. I run to the car. I'm out of the parking lot before Roan rounds the corner. I see his Washington City cruiser fly past on the main road, lights on, heading the opposite way. Close. The GPS takes me up the mountain. Ridge Road. The numbers count up. 85, 88, 91. The first cabin I find sits in silence, closed up, nobody home. I keep going. The Hooper house comes into view. ranch style, their name painted in bright yellow letters. I overshoot, turn around, come back. The log cabin. It has to be the log cabin. I pull over 15 feet from the driveway and cut the engine. Palms sweating. What if it's not Lola? What if it is? I decide to fake car trouble, lift the hood, stab at hoses, just long enough to catch a glimpse of whoever comes to the door. Then I see it. Down an incline, behind the house, tucked between the cabin wall and the tree line, a van, parked beside a basement door. Gray, peeling paint. A branch moves. A man comes out of the trees, 50 feet away, back to me, heading for the basement door. He's carrying something over his shoulder. My entire body goes cold. Girl. Short brown hair, jean jacket with pastel floral sleeves, face down, lifeless. Lola.
Perspective shifts to Mary.
I think I might be dead. Then my nose throbs and I rule it out. No throbbing in limbo. I'm on a camping cot in a concrete basement. Cracked walls, dirt floor, a rectangle of gray daylight around a door. Rain outside. Stairs ascending into shadow on the other side of the room. He put me under the cabin. I go to swing my legs off the cot and something twists into my ankle. Metal rattles. The chain pulls taut, and I lean forward into the thin light to see it. A heavy silver chain coiled on the floor, one end disappearing into the room's darkness, the other end a set of handcuffs, one around my ankle. I yank hard. It doesn't move. A light bulb flickers on above me. I slam my back against the wall. Wayne is sitting at the bottom of the stairs, right by the light switch. I didn't hear anyone come down, which means he's been here, in the dark, this whole time. Watching me panic, watching me pull at the chain, saying nothing. He sighs. He puts his head in his hands. He says he's disappointed in me, that things were going so well, that I was finally on the right path, and then I had to ruin it, like always. When I was little. I have never met this man before he kidnapped me. He talks about my friends, my clothes, my music, my sneaking out. Why won't you leave all that behind? Why do I have to take such drastic measures to save you? I don't know what he's talking about. None of it fits my life. I tell him, I'm not Mary. I don't mean to say it. The words come out on their own. He launches off the stairs. Every time I find you, it's the same, he screams. You know exactly who you are. You are Mary Boone. Every time I find you. How many times has he done this? He backhands me off the cot. I hit the floor. My cheekbone screams. I flip my hair out of my face and press my hand to it, shaking. He backs against the workbench and says maybe there's no saving you. Maybe all his efforts were for nothing. I'm too scared to make a sound. Silence will set him off. Anything will set him off. He comes back. He takes my arm with fingers so gentle I can barely feel them, helps me back onto the cot, looks at me with a face that has gone completely cold and hollow, scarier than the yelling, scarier than the backhand. I'll keep you pure and good if it's the last thing I do, Mary. We'll do it together this time. He stomps up the stairs. The basement goes silent. I scramble to my feet and grab the chain with both hands. I yank until the metal cuts into my skin. I yank until my hands bleed. I yank until I'm out of breath and my arms shake. The pull doesn't move. I drag the cot away from the wall, looking for anything I can use, a broken leg, anything to get through the chain or the cuffs. Something clinks to the floor in the dirt. A screw, the top scratched almost completely flat. I go still as a corpse. There are names carved on the concrete. Allison, Christy, Courtney, Aurelie, Becca, Carly, Sheena, Ashley. Different handwriting, different depths, some faded with time and moisture, some so fresh they could have been carved today.
The screw, the scratched flat top of the screw, they were all here, in this basement, chained to this cot, and they scratched their names into the wall so someone would know they existed before he. I'm not the first. He's taken other girls. How many fake Marys? How many bodies in the yard? Are they all? Are they? The basement door swings open. I spin around with the screw in my fist, ready. It's not Wayne. A boy about my age stands in the doorway, chest heaving, eyes wild. A boy in a Beastie Boys sweatshirt.
I stare at her. She stares back. 5 full seconds, neither of us blinking. Green eyes, short brown hair, floral jacket, freckles, bloody nose, split cheek. She isn't. Everything I've been holding back collapses at once. I drop to my knees. "You're not Lola," I whisper. She glances at the wall. I follow her gaze. Names scratched into concrete, and the freshest one, barely carved, still pale with dust. Lola. The girl shakes her head. Her eyes shift from fear to sadness. "No, I'm not."
He gets back up. He digs through boxes on the workbench and pulls out a pair of brush trimmers. His voice is rough. He tells me this might cut the small chain on the handcuffs. He tells me he tried to call 911, but there's no signal up here, so he ran to the neighbor and told her to call the police. Help is on the way. I tell him the man upstairs killed her husband. His face goes gray and he moves faster. We talk while he works. He asks if there are other girls. I tell him no. I try to give him something. Maybe Lola got away? He stops me. He asks if the jacket has LES sewn into the hip tag. I check. Rose gold thread, LES. Lola Elizabeth Scott, he says. If she got away, she would have made it home. She never left this place. I look at the names on the wall and the weight of them changes. They were always horrible. Now they're real in a way they weren't before. Lola wigs the others real. All of them, taken. All of them. How many buried behind the woodpile? He tells me I look like her. Same hair, same eyes, same freckles. Your face is different, though. His voice breaks on that last part. Are we all the same? Is he hunting the same girl over and over? The boots sound overhead. I tell him to run, get out, go, tell the police, tell them my name is Madison Perkins. He looks at me like I'm insane. I'm Drew, you're Madison, now we're not strangers. I leave when you do. Wayne comes through the yard door. They crash to the floor. I can't reach the fight. The chain won't let me. I watch Drew get the upper hand, then Wayne slam him into the workbench, fingers closing on his throat. I pick up the cot and smash it into Wayne's back. Twice. He tears it away from me. Drew's face is turning red. He's going to die in front of me. I find the clippers on the floor. I slam them into the back of Wayne's neck. Drew punches Wayne in the ribs. They roll apart, both gasping. Drew kicks Wayne into the workbench, and out of the box that spills across the floor comes something boxy and black. I grab it. I hurl it with everything I have. It hits Wayne square in the temple. Wayne Boone goes still. We pull each other upright and make for the stairs. Halfway up, Wayne grabs Drew by the sweatshirt and drags him back. Drew goes down hard, head on the dirt floor, eyes unfocused. Wayne stomps on him. I run. Wayne catches me at the front door, hand in my hair, dragging me back inside. He pins me to the wall. Blood-soaked, raving, still calling me Mary. I smell it. Rotten eggs. All 4 stove burners are on, pouring gas into the house. The fireplace is lit. I'll keep you pure and good if it's the last thing I do. We'll do it together this time. I slap off every burner. I get to the front door. He grabs me again. I knee him, miss. He throws me over the couch and I hit the coffee table, and it shatters beneath me. I get up. I grab the fire poker from the fireplace rack, and I swing it like I've been trained to swing for 6 years.
I drive him backwards across the room. He catches the end of the poker, grabs it, glares at me through blood and unfocused eyes. 6 years of rage. 5 days of terror. Every name on that wall. That's not my name, you asshole. I kick him down the stairs. He hits the bottom and doesn't move. Blood from his ear, his neck at the wrong angle, his chest still. And I smile. The screen door bangs open. I spin, but it's Drew, gasping for air. He asks if Wayne's dead. I nod. His smile crumbles when he looks at my face. I'm still not Lola. I don't think he'll ever stop grieving that. We grab each other's hands and limp out together, away from the cabin, down the driveway, collapsing at the far end as sirens blare up the road. I look back at the house and say every name on the wall. Allison, Christy, Courtney, Aurelie, Becca, Carly, Sheena, Ashley, Lola. Officer Bowman sprints towards us from his cruiser. Are you two okay? I look at Drew. He looks at me. No, but we're alive.
4 months later.
The sun comes out for Lola's birthday. It's the only gentle thing about today. I've been sitting at the boat launch for hours with a red velvet cupcake on the dash and a lighter in my pocket, and I can't do it. I can't light it. Going to the bakery, buying the cupcake, that's what we do on her birthday, what we've always done. I couldn't not do it, but now I'm here and it's real, and she'll never make another wish. She'll never turn 18, never open another present, never go to college or travel or live. She'll never get to really live, and it's all my fault. Madison appears at the top of the ramp, hair grown out, underside dyed blue, still green eyes, still freckles, still enough like Lola to knock the breath out of me. She drove here from Bellevue because it's Lola's birthday and she wanted to check on me. She's been feeding updates to Autumn for months because I ghosted her after the hospital. She calls me an asshole for it immediately, and I deserve it entirely. She tells me Wayne's computers were found in his van. He started searching for her, started looking for his next Mary the day after Lola disappeared. The next day. Lola was dead before anyone knew she was missing. Nobody could have saved her. That's not your fault. It's Wayne's. She gets the jacket from her mom's car. We spread it on the concrete by the water. We set the cupcake in the middle. I light the candle and cup the flame from the wind. Happy birthday, Lola, Madison whispers. I make the wish for her, the kind she always made, the grandiose kind that covers everyone she loves forever. The breeze blows out the candle. I pretend it was her. Later, Autumn and Max appear, guilty, then waved over. We sit together at the water until after dark, trading stories, celebrating the girl we'll never stop missing. Max and Autumn walk back to the car holding hands. I hang back and watch them, hearing what Lola would say. The cutest, so happy. Your lives are going to be great. I look at the water one last time. The weight slips just a little, just enough to breathe. Happy birthday, Lola.